retired after serving 22 years and 2 Vietnam tours with the Army. My father had been stationed at Fort Huachuca for 4 years before he retired, 6 months before our morning paper delivery drive. The move from Fort Huachuca, Arizona to Dad's hometown, Beaufort, South Carolina, had been a huge conversion for all of us. Culture shock does not even begin to describe moving from Western browns to East Coast greens, from military base to civilian neighborhood. My sense of balance was so rocked, I felt at times like I'd been transported to another planet. The route usually took 30 to 45 minutes by 10 speed bike, so it only took 20 minutes in my dad's Chrysler before I was grabbing the last paper and throwing it out. Sitting back, I'd let the wind from the open car window caress my face and dry the dampness away. My father eased the Chrysler onto Rebot Road. We passed the junior high school, and I thought about the essay I had yet to complete for English makeup class. I had flunked my way into last school year, and I had to go to summer for 3 horrific weeks. Dad, I have 1 day to finish my essay on the year 1967. Do you think you can help me with it?
That was one crazy year for me. The Vietnam War was still going on, and for all we knew, people were going crazy over here in the States. I heard stories of women burning bras and men burning flags. Drugs hadn't really been a big deal before I left, but it seemed to catch on pretty damn quick in other places. The type of rock and roll my friends and I had grown up with was all but disappearing from the radio stations. My life overseas was kind of sheltered, so all we got were bits and pieces of what went on over here in the States. I guess you could say it all boiled down to a time of free love and personal independence for most people. Me, I was too busy fighting the war to get caught up in much.
Ma never talked about Daddy's death. Never. The little that I do know about him came from my sisters, my brother, and random conversations I was never really directly involved in. My father's existence is almost as unreal to me as his death, because I was only about 2 when he was killed. Leaving a card game, he was stabbed and died instantly. By all accounts, Ma had remained strong enough through the entire ordeal and had simply done what needed to be done. None of us ever seen tears, and she never discussed his death. She simply done what needed to be done. She had taken that custodial job and picked up Daddy's shared responsibilities as if they had always been her own. With her mother's help, she continued to take care of us, while also paying the bills for the small trailer we called home.
It's gonna be all right, Ma. It's gonna grow back. Just watch.
Her weak smile failed to reach her eyes. Without a word, she replaced the towel around her head, walked back to the kitchen, and proceeded to clean up. Just as she had when Dad died, Ma carried on as if nothing happened. She took the shampoo back to its proper place, wiped down the counters, and cleaned the sink. Neither of us spoke. Although there was so much I wanted to say and do, I wanted to hug her, lay my head atop her head, and tell her that it'd be all right. I wanted to cry with her. I wanted her to know that she wasn't alone. But my family's relationship had never been a physically close one. We weren't the type of family who hugged or said,
I love you.
We rarely showed our feelings, relying instead on the unspoken understanding and the connection that came with being a family. It didn't seem right to dote on her. Unsure what else to say or do, I quickly gathered my things and left the apartment. My brother's apartment was in the same complex, and I made the short trek to his place in a fog. I entered the apartment where my brother and sisters were playing a game of cards. Grimly, I told them the news.
She won't want everybody making it a big deal.
We all agreed and decided to leave Ma alone to deal with it. It was a really inadequate word for what was happening to our family. but none of us had the desire or the courage to admit what it really meant.
We were almost home when he asked me the question that would change my whole life. I looked over into the face of a stranger. I broke out in a cold sweat that had nothing to do with the midday heat. It seemed as if every inch of my skin was crawling. I reached for the door handle to open the car door, not caring that the car was traveling at 45 miles an hour down a busy main street. Desperate to escape from that sick feeling lodged like a heavy sharp stone in the bottom of my stomach, I suddenly began to wish I skipped breakfast. Dad noticed my hand on the car door handle and pulled over to the side of the road. In mere moments, I yanked open the door and was running without any sense of direction, not caring as long as I was far away from the picture permanently burned into my brain of cold. Leering smile pasted on his lips. Aside from the words that he said, that image continued to echo through my mind. Less than 10 words laid my world, and yet the last of my childhood to waste. As I blindly ran away from my father's voice, I cried for the death of that innocence and knew nothing in life would ever be the same. One thought kept going through my head. Home. Attached to that one word were a million questions. How do I go home now? What do I do when I get home? What will it be like at home now?